part 2 of our making tortillas, as I'm calling this quilt, which is basically a mock cathedral windows quilt. And again, it is something you can do from scraps, various focus fabrics, something that you already have, and it's a quilt as you go project. So in the first part, we learned how to make the tortillas, which is what we have here, and we ended up with pressing them all, which is a really important part, and using, again, fresh press or any kind of steam to press it. So now we're going to draw our lines, and of course I lose my chalk at the same time. Let me see if I can use another marker here. All right, so we're going to mark and make our squares. I want you to notice where you have the opening, because you want that to be covered by the wedge. So you're going to have to make sure that your opening is very close to where you're going to start your fold. You fold it in half, press one corner, press the other corner, and use your marker to mark your kind. Then you're going to match, again, those 2 points, and you're going to fold it, again, in half, iron the corner, both corners, and then mark it, and mark it. Then you're going to take, and from mark to mark, you are going to draw your lines. So you're going to draw your square, and let me show you one that I've already done. So from those marks, you're going to draw your line, and you're going to do it from point to point. From that point to the other point, you're going to draw a square. From each of the points, keep in mind this is where you had folded it, right? So you made your mark, and you're going to draw a square in the center of your tortilla. So each of your tortillas, as you're going along, you are going to have these squares done beforehand. Now you're ready to sew your tortillas together. So let's begin by putting the first one, 2 together. Again, depending on the direction, this is directional, so I'm going to want to put this, and this one is not directional, and you're going to match them up, and using your pins, you're going to put your pin in the corner and match it up to the corner on this side. Run your pin through, straighten out your 2 tortillas, and you're going to do the same thing on the other. One side of the corner of the square to the other corner, put your pin through, and now you have your sewing line. Pin it, so that it matches the line on the other side. And this is going to be where you're going to sew your 2 tortillas together. So take it over to your sewing machine. Place it right on the line. Bring down your needle. I always take my pins out, and it wasn't pinned in there. And then you just sew across your entire line, sewing your 2 tortillas together. Taking your pin out and matching all the way down the line. And that is going to create your wedge that you need to do between your 2 tortillas. So that is the wedge. I'm going to take this back over to the ironing area, and again, you're going to use the best press or any kind of steam, water, whatever you want to do, and press these wedges down. So now you're ready to sew your next tortilla onto your next row. In the same fashion, you're going to take them, and again, using your pins, you are going to place a pin in this corner and match it to this corner. And you're going to take your other pin and you're going to place it, matching the two corners together and putting those pins together to again show how you're going to sew your wedges together. So that is what you do in making, and you sew your tortillas if you're doing 3 across, 4 across, or 5 across. In the instance of the ones that I am doing, and let me show you, I have been sewing 5 across. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tortillas. I make a row. I have sewn all of this together. And then after I have made 2 rows, then I sew my tortillas in the same way. I'll show you on this one, in the same fashion. I had my lines, put them together, and I sewed the top row to the bottom row, making another wedge. What you will end up with is basically this kind of design that is here as you sew your rows together. Now I'm going to make, this is 2 rows, and I'm going to make 5 rows or 6 rows of my quilt with 5 tortillas across in this various fabrics. And this is the backing fabric that is on the other side. It comes across on this side. You can use different ones. And then the final thing is that you're going to quilt it. And as you can see, it's a 1/4 inch from the edge. I use contrasting thread, in this instance gold thread, and I've sewn all the way around. I don't think I need to demo that, but it's all the way across. On each of these wedges, it is sewn across. And of course, now your quilt is quilted on the back and on the front. You don't really need to do much quilting after that. And again, depending on how big you want to make your quilt, you can make it all different sizes. And again, it all begins with using your Oya as your template, making your circle, and from that, using the 3 fabrics. And again, you can use different colors for the backing fabric. In this instance, I'm using Asian fabrics with this kind of black with gold as a complement. But again, think of all the different things you can do. You can just do florals if you like. You can do, again, Mexican fabrics, Asian fabrics. You can do, K-facet fabrics and make a very interesting quilt. It's very easy. You'll get it done. And at the end of the day, it is a quilt as you go project. I can share with you the back. It is quilted, and it has this nice design all the way across as it's already finished and quilted. Enjoy making this quilt, making tortillas, again, a mock cathedral window quilt. Thanks.